human-induced, climate change, international debt and financial crisis, and support national economic reforms. But all require budget funding, which renowned economic professor Sanchez says that Uganda must borrow to finance this development agenda. The Economist proposes that Uganda needs to acquire long-term loans that require repayment for not less than 30 years.
Keep your budget under control. If you remain poor, that's not our problem. Our problem only comes if you default. So better not to borrow, stay poor, children aren't in school, no health coverage. That's okay. Just don't default and don't get into high inflation.
Professor Sanchez says parish development model could be good because it fulfills the sustainable development goals.
Every household needs a light bulb for the kids to study. Every household needs electricity for cooking, so you're not chopping down the forests.
Professor Sanchez says Uganda needs to make use of all opportunities available, such as the East African Community Market and Africa Free Trade Area for development.
At the beginning that I'm going to leave the private sector part. What's the public sector responsibility, aside from good policy and an enabling environment, is skilled workforce and physical infrastructure.
The area of investment for Uganda needs to target education, health, agriculture, industry, and ICT. The Prime Minister, Rhoda Ngonzi, says that Uganda will tap into Professor Sanchez' experience for its development.
She says we borrow as much as we can, as long as these loans are long-term, and as long as the money is put to the good use, and as long as, because he says in 30 years Uganda will be a developed country, and we shall be able to pay all these loans at ease, and this will be a stimuli.
Ministers and permanent secretaries made that case at the meeting.
I'm keen to engage with you, given your global experience and knowledge in financing and implementing of SDGs, on how we can mobilize financing in an appropriate and sustainable manner.
The country digital skilling, awareness and developing and implementing the national digital skill information framework.
The activities that are done, and we greatly think that other areas should be given priority.
And the purpose of the parish development model is to give you some kickstart fund to put it in your economic enterprise at your home level so that you can feed your home.
The loans in health don't come so easily. They only come when they are concessional loans, which are rare.
Right now, the value attached to it is actually not there. And I think with the Ministry of Finance, we are now going into national capital accounting so that the value of the natural resources are appreciated and factored into the development.
Rhoda Ngonzi, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development and Secretary to Treasury, says Uganda is managing its debt well and was happy to learn that Professor Sanchez is recommending more borrowing to Uganda.
Here in Uganda, our debt is quite well structured. But replacement to remain politically correct is what we are emphasizing now, plus export promotion. How do we produce for the export, especially in the African region?
Professor Sanchez is in Uganda at the invitation of the Prime Minister, Rhoda Ngonzi, to discuss strategies of accelerating Uganda's development agenda. Shaidat Nasakum, UBC News.
And the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has directed the Minister for Internal Affairs to bring a report on murders in the country to the floor of Parliament. This follows the murder of the leader of the Ndiga clan, Daniel Bosa, in Lungucha over the weekend. During parliamentary sitting, legislators raised concern over gun violence, the many unresolved murders and cases not conclusively being handled.
Parliament, headed by Speaker Anita Among, has extended their condolences to the people of Buganda, people of Ndiga clan, and the aggrieved family of the fallen leader of Ndiga clan, Daniel Bossa, who was murdered in cold blood in Lango, a Kampala suburb, over the weekend. This issue was raised in the communication of the chair of Tuesday's sitting, Anita Among, who expressed the need for Ugandans to be tolerant when it comes to murders in the country. She said police needs to make sure that CCTV cameras are operational to follow up this case.
On the issue of the murders, Ugandans really need to be tolerant. Let's accept to live with each other, irrespective of whatever problems that could be there. Killing is not a solution. And generally, people of Uganda, as Parliament of Uganda, we bring in our condolence on the loss of the clan leader. Please accept our condolence and we are with you.
Some legislators expressed the need for the ministry responsible to give an update on the installation of CCTV cameras and a report on murders, plus expeditiously debating the issue of gun violence.
Rampant killing. We need to find out why are we having a lot of guns in the public. We need to find that out. For example, these people who killed the Omukuru Wechika, the head of the clan of Ndiga, these are people who are civilians. The system of people having guns irregularly, Madam Speaker, is growing day by day.
Regrettable, and the people of Uganda should not take the law in their own hands. We should actually detest generally the murder of our citizens in cold blood.
Same thing, there are several police posts which are removed of recently from different areas of the country. Isn't it high time that the Minister of Internal Affairs, General Kahindo Tafire, restores such police posts in different areas of the country?
Member of Parliament Kira Municipality Ibrahim Semujonganda asked to understand from people responsible for security why police was not at site when the Wananchi were chasing the suspects. Member of Parliament Butambala County Mwanga Chivombi requested the President to return to Parliament and account for the measures so far taken to address murders.
But it's Wananchi chasing the suspects, and because of their anger and lack of training, they did what they did. So can we be told, where is security? If a murder in a capital city can happen, and for 3 kilometers, there are no soldiers, there are no policemen.
So many people, Right Honorable Speaker, that we may now reach a level where we demand that the President of Uganda comes back. We request, implore him to come back to Parliament to account for the 10 measures that were undertaken. And why? After the implementation, and we have allocated billions of money in cameras.
Leader of Opposition Joel Senyonyi said there are so many unresolved murders in the country. However, waits for the report that the Speaker of Parliament has directed the Ministry of Internal Affairs to bring to Parliament.
Increasingly get agitated. They are now taking matters in their own hands. I don't think that's a place we want to be at. This mob justice is actually not mob justice, it's mob action. These are people saying, we don't trust that the killers will be brought to book, let's deal with them ourselves. Once this becomes prevalent, even innocent people along the way could suffer.
I'm Nafka Farida and Gloria Ngwetabinji.
Now, the NRM district registrars and chairpersons have been cautioned against manipulating the process of updating the party registers, as such actions disorganize the internal election process. This call was made by the Central Executive Committee members in the NRM at an induction of district delegates about this process at the Party Electoral Commission offices in Kampala.
Delegates, including party district registrars, chairpersons and administrators, are convening at the NRM Electoral Commission offices in Kampala for an induction ahead of the registration and roadmap launch on Wednesday, 28 February 2024.
We must tolerate our leaders. We must not start fighting leaders. I don't want to hear you, registrars, admins, ONC, that you are fighting the president. If there's an issue, write it and we present.
The induction is about taking the party leaders through the forthcoming events of updating registers and holding internal elections.
We are trained together. We are told our roles. Each group know that this is our role and we should not interfere. It is a lane driving. When you take your lane, you don't interfere with the other. That is the mission and the goal of this training.
For these leaders agreed that indeed the update of the party registers has been a long overdue.
Once we have that register, it means we are prepared for elections of the structure of the party, but also elections in the primaries for the general national elections.
We have new members who are going to join. We have new residents who are going to join. We are going to remove members of the area who left with the new ones who are in the press.
We know the youth, we are the parents, the youth are our sons and daughters. So we are going to make them, to convince them as we update the registers, we register them and tell them what to do.
However, they are being urged to take care of those intruders who might want to manipulate the process.
A good register ensures good primaries, ensures a good electoral process.
We are emphasizing a corrupt-free process because in the past registration of members, you'd find a person uploading a whole school of even S1s who are 13 years. So we are saying that's corruption. We want a credible register of villagers.
But if everybody whom we're going to register is actually somebody committed to the party, then we do not have a real problem like Tango Doi says. We should be starting with close to 6 to 7 million people when any general election comes.
The Deputy Secretary General, Rhoda Ngonzi, represented the Secretary General Richard Sadong during this induction.
And I want to assure you that with this level of unity, with this level of cohesion, both at national, district and lower levels, there cannot be any party that can dare defeat the NRM.
The first National Vice Chairperson, NRM, Alhaji Moses Chigongo, was the chief guest at this event.
Don't accept to be bribed. Add on this, add on this, add on this, because these are my people. They are not your people, they are our people. They are people of Uganda.
Chigongo reassured the NRM members that the party is here to stay amidst all the waves.
Let us unite ourselves. Let us also unite other people. Persuade them, those who are angry, persuade them to come back and we will move together.
The NRM registers, commonly referred to as Yellow Books, were last updated in 2016 with over 9 million members. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Now, the Office of the National Chairman of the NRM Party, working closely with the Secretariat, has extended an invitation to members of the general public to turn up for commissioning of party activities. On Wednesday, the 28th of February, which is tomorrow, the NRM Party Chairman, Yoweri Museveni, will commission these party activities at the Secretariat.
It is Tuesday, 27th February 2024, and at the NRM Secretariat at Plot 10 along Chadondo Road, it is fanfare as arrangements to receive the party chairman Yoweri Kaguta Museveni are winding up. In the visit scheduled for Wednesday, 28th November 2024, supporters across all walks are warming up for it.
So omuvuzi wa bodaboda yena abaddeyo ng'oli mu bweraliikirivu nti ate abo traffic bagenda kunkwata MP commander traffic atuwadde assurance.
In working hand in hand with security, the SFCs, all stakeholders are on board to ensure that we do it massive, the wild way, welcoming our national chairman of the mighty party, NRM.
To supplement the mobilization task force, the most donkey work is being done by the Kyambogo-based office of the national chairman.
Nti twagala kulaga president waffe nti NRM etuli musaayi ng'aba boda boda vako abo abazze bakubuzabuza nga bakugamba nti boda boda manya nswera bazunga wano na wano fe abamu tulina side era tumanyi kye twagala nti olunaku lw'enkya nkoowola avuzi ba boda boda mwenna mu ggwanga actually osobola n'okuwagirira ku TV.
We are going to escort him as he comes to NRM Secretariat to launch the update of the NRM register. That is a signal that he's coming back. He's not launching it for the children, not for the relatives. He's launching it for the people of Ugandans and for the NRM.
Selected members of the general public will be given access to the meeting venues, with the remaining members being urged to line along major routes to cheer the president.
Will come to launch the register. He will come to launch it officially. He will also look at the register from Kiruhura to find out whether he's a voter. He may be there, he may find he's not a voter. So he will also peruse the register to find whether he's a voter and whether he's captured. And after launching the register, he will come back here to plot 13 to address the delegates. He will address that side and also address here. Because of accommodation, we can't manage holding all people in one ground.
Story compiled by Joseph Mingo for UBC News.
Now, the Secretary of the Office of the President, Haj Yunus Kakande, has called upon resident district city commissioners and their deputies to ensure that they help people in their respective sub-regions to get out of poverty. According to Haj Kakande, this can be done by mobilizing communities to embrace government's poverty alleviation programs. He was opening a capacity building retreat for RDCs, RCCs, DRDCs, RCCs, RISO DISOs from Lango sub-region, Lira district.
Haji Kakande reminded the participants that one of their core roles is to ensure that services are well delivered to the people they lead, and this can be done through effective monitoring and evaluation of government programs.
If it's a 2 billion project, are you sure that that big 2 billion which are in that project is the money which was supposed to be there? Or instead of 2 billion, they implemented a project of 500 million shillings. So this is in Lango, should not leave the people of Lango behind. We should make sure that the people of Lango get out of poverty.
On the other hand, Haji Kakande tasked leaders to maintain security and ensure that the country is safe.
The NRM government has made national security its top priority. Top priority. Therefore, as the leaders of the district committees, I call upon you to be vigilant and enforce necessary security measures within your means so as to ensure that the security in this region is not compromised at all.
On the issue of environmental conservation, Haji Kakande informed the participants that the Lango sub-region needs serious intervention as far as the factor is concerned.
It's a world issue. It's a convention of UN. It's not Uganda saying this protection of the environment. Because if you mishandle it here, not only the people of Lango are going to be affected, but even those who are up in Europe. So let us use consultative efforts all together, Ugandans, and make sure that the environment is protected. You tamper with the environment, the end result is poverty, the entire this case.
The head of the RDC Secretariat, Major Martha Asimwe, informed the participants that the capacity building workshop is aimed at reminding them of their core mandate as the representatives of His Excellency the President.
We are equally here to equip you with more skills, more up-to-date skills and relevant skills so that you can be able to understand your values, the attitudes, we motivate you and build your capacity and capabilities which are necessary for you to perform your duties.
The workshop was also attended by presidential advisors, RDC Secretariat commissioners, among other officials from the Office of the President. Justin Nakami, UBC News.
The IGG Betty Kamya has appealed to Ugandans to get involved in a lifestyle audit campaign of fighting against corruption. Kamya made these remarks in Mbarara City during a tour for sensitizing leaders about the fight against corruption.
The Office of the Inspectorate of Government has toured Mbarara City and District to sensitize the community on how to get involved in fighting against corruption.
Almost everything that hurts people, you can trace it directly to corruption. And I want people to understand that.
According to IGG Betty Kamya, Uganda loses at least 10 trillion annually due to corruption, which has affected government projects.
Your neighbor living that kind of lifestyle, is it commensurate with the known source of income if he's a government employee? If indeed he is a government employee or she is a government employee and lives a lifestyle that seems to be beyond the salary they get, then most likely they are getting money from public resources.
Many individuals are handling big projects, yet they have no office, which is real corruption, and they should be interrogated.
People's lifestyle are known by the people who live with them, their neighbors. And so the neighbors must tell us what these people's lifestyles are, what their wealth are, where their assets are. And then for us, we take that information and start interrogating it.
Mbarara City Mayor Robert Mugabe reported to IGG that even though his city has corrupt people, it is growing fast.
You cannot compare Mbarara in terms of growth time and again with Ginger. For us, we are moving at a high speed. And that is as a result of, one, the cooperation between the leadership. The cooperation.
We are trying really to make sure that we fight corruption. That's why you don't, I believe in your reports, our cases as Mbarara District local governments, if they are there, they are very minimal.
Colonel James Mwesije, the RCC Mbarara City, showed dissatisfaction over the corrupt people, again fighting against corruption.
Can you bite? And seriously bite? And by the way, when you come to preach in the church, you must be a Christian. You can't fight corruption when you are corrupt. First, be free of corruption. Corruption will go.
Madam IGG, I need also you to look into the Minister of Lands. Insecurity in this country is being brought by competition of land, where some of these officers are using their offices to issue multiple land titles on the same land.
The officials from IGG are on a countrywide awareness for people to get involved in the fight against corruption.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Have you packed more with Harbour jelly and Harbour foam? Yes, we packed. It will protect your skin from skin rashes. Movit pack. It is a new improved Movit Harbour jelly, so soft and smooth. It is a Movit Harbour jelly. Tell me, kids,
Any irritations? No more rashes and irritations. Movit Herbal Jelly and Herbal Soap is rich in natural herbs for a smooth and glowing skin.
Movit All Day Confidence.
The government of Uganda and the Uganda Bureau of Statistics is calling upon all stakeholders such as the chief administrative officers, city mayors, resident city commissioners, city clerks, city and division councillors, wards and LC chairpersons, as well as the residents and business communities to cooperate with the UBOS field teams as we embark on advanced preparations to conduct the National Population and Housing Census on the 10th of May 2024. The census will be a 10-day exercise to obtain statistical data and information that will be used for planning and policy formulation, including information on 1. How many we are, 2. Where we are, 3. How we are living, 4. What we own, and 5. Where we access services from. The Uganda Bureau of Statistics has now started listing of households and mapping in the 11 cities of Arua, Fort Portal, Gulu, Hoima, Jinja, Lira, Mbale, Masaka, Mbarara, Soroti, and in the Greater Kampala comprising of Kampala, Wakiso, and Mukono districts. For more information, please call 0755 342 128 or 0773 342 128. This message is brought to you by the Executive Director and Census Commissioner, Uganda Bureau of Statistics. Census 2024. It matters to be counted.
Hi, my name is Dennis Masindo Nyango, former Uganda Cranes captain and goalkeeper. My kind of a tank at home is a Crest tank. I use it at the farm and at home. I recommend it for everyone.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Tonight. The Katikkiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Mayiga, has urged clan leaders to prevent the spread of HIV and AIDS by getting tested in the fight against the disease. The Katikkiro was launching the 11th edition of the Kabaka Birthday Run, slated for the 7th of April this year, sponsored by Airtel and the two committees, including the Kabaka's 69th birthday and the Kabaka Birthday Run.
The Katikkiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Mayiga, has launched the 11th edition of the Kabaka Birthday Run, which is to take place on the 7th of April 2024 and sponsored by Airtel to celebrate his 69th birthday.
Airtel Uganda, we would like to extend warm wishes to His Majesty as he marks his 69th birthday, and we hope for a great year ahead.
Katikkiro Charles Peter Mayiga urged clan leaders to be exemplary in the fight against AIDS to save girls and women from contracting HIV/AIDS.
Especially on the African continent, that it's the men who initiate the activities that lead to the spread of HIV/AIDS. We know we are living in modern times. Even women can approach us. But by and large, if the men take the lead, if the men care to save their daughters and their sisters and their mothers and their aunties, if the men are in the lead in the fight against HIV/AIDS, we can eradicate it by 2030.
Katikkiro said that Kabaka's aim is to see people are healthy, and that is why the king took the fight against AIDS. The Katikkiro also urged the people of Uganda to further protect themselves from the disease by participating in the Kabaka's Birthday Run.
But the major factor that's going to determine social and economic transformation is the health of especially the ordinary person. Because it's the ordinary person that contributes significantly to the growth of any country. We therefore join the efforts of the international community, UNAIDS, Uganda AIDS Commission, and all people involved in promoting our health in the fight against HIV/AIDS. And we should all be happy because the Kabaka is the goodwill ambassador for the African continent.
Airtel Uganda Public Relations Manager David Birungi said that Airtel will continue to support the kingdom in the fight against AIDS through sponsorship of the run.
We are here to support the Kabaka and Uganda Kingdom's effort to end HIV/AIDS by 2030. We know the infection rates have continuously gone down, but we are not yet there. There's one infection is one too many. But we believe that with the effort and the investment we are making in this effort, the goals are well known and they are very good goals. The Kavaka, as a goodwill ambassador of UNAIDS.
Some of the clan heads reacted about the teacher's encouragement, especially on AIDS.
Men are advised to be at the forefront to fight HIV because we are taken to be at the forefront of spreading it. And therefore, we encourage all men to be at the forefront of fighting HIV/AIDS.
Crispus Arinitwe, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
And with the name of curbing case backlog and extend justice to litigants, Uganda will host the African Chief Justices Summit on alternative dispute resolution. Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, communicated this during a press conference at the Judiciary headquarters.
Judiciary records of 2023 reveals that cases involving cooperative disputes count to over 8.3 trillion, yet through alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, such monies can be discovered. With an aim to create a mediation platform among parties, the Judiciary is to host a two-day African Chief Justice Summit on alternative dispute resolution to curb on the increasing case backlog.
Bodies like UNRWA have deposited billions and billions of shillings in the courts because these cases are complex and there are many lawyers and parties who think that they must win.
Alternative dispute resolution involves pre-bargaining, mediation, arbitration, and among other mechanisms, which parties can sit and solve a case without going to court. The Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, highlights the purpose of the summit in ensuring justice.
Alternative dispute resolution is about finding that correct person, a neutral person, to simply be like a kind of reconciler so that parties can agree and reach agreement. The summit will kick off on March 5th this year and end on the 6th.
He, however, raised the need for the establishment of a center for alternative dispute resolution for advanced training of legal practitioners.
And that is the office which will be accrediting practitioners of alternative dispute resolution. It will also assemble a body of professionals to approve a curriculum of study that you must go through and pass before you are accredited. It will prescribe regulations to be followed so that those who come for mediation or conciliation or even for arbitration will be handled professionally.
Arbitration, banking, and financial disputes, court annexed mediation, the role of alternative dispute resolution, among other topics, are expected to be discussed during the summit, as Justice Mike Chibita explains.
The theme is expected to speak to a new paradigm for dispute resolution in Africa on the basis of the reflection that in Africa what is classed as ADR was actually Africa's foremost dispute resolution template. Topics may tentatively cover the role of ADR as an enabler of Africa's economic growth and development.
Chibita also points out the importance of alternative dispute resolution in administering justice.
On the other hand, ADR is cheap, is cost-effective, it is flexible, and it is convenient as it stands to address the seminal challenge of the gap between formal justice and real justice as seen from the perspective of the parties. The Honorable the Chief Justice has constituted a team of retired justices, judges, and senior advocates to spearhead a pilot ADR program in all the courts of record.
The summit is expected to be attended by over 300 delegates from African countries, which will be held another theme, re-engineering the administration of justice on the African continent. Meanwhile, the Judiciary has postponed the National Court Open Day, which was scheduled on 29 February 2024 to 9th April 2024. Deborah Namamonde, Susan Nabogode, UBC News.
And environmentalists want government to adopt the participatory forest management where communities around forests are involved. They also want government to gazette some forests to communities and ensure a clear benefit mechanism that will enable communities protect their ecosystem.
National Forest Authority statistics show that Uganda's forest cover has reduced from 24% in 1990 to only 13%. The situation poses a problem to national development and climate change. Environmentalists want government to involve communities living near endangered ecosystems like wetlands and forests to increase the rate of forest cover in Uganda. Dr. Peter Babyenda from the Makerere University-based Environment for Development Initiative points out that the system has fully worked for countries like Nepal, which has recorded its forest cover from 29% to 45%.
Do and leave them to manage the forests.
The communities are organized in form of groups, and it is the communities themselves that are responsible for the management of forests. You don't need forest enforcement, law enforcement officers in Nepal.
As the Ministry of Water and Environment reviews its policy for National Framework on Forest Policy of 2001 and the National Regulations for Carbon Trading Forest Cover, environmentalists have emphasized on the adoption of participatory forest management, which will ensure a clear benefit mechanism between government and communities, which will enable the communities to jealously protect their ecosystems.
It's very important for us to ensure that the ongoing policy processes, and that includes the review of the National Forest Policy of 2001 and also the development of the national regulations for carbon trading. So it's important for us to ensure that there is a clear benefit sharing mechanism between government and the communities, so that the communities know that they are benefiting something from those forests. So they will be encouraged to protect those forests rather than encroach on them.
I feel if we can pick that model and apply it here in Uganda and have a legal backing of that body, it can go a long way to improve collaborative forest management and community forestry in our country.
Over 80% of Uganda's population depends on biomass, which highly contributes to climate change and poses a danger to human health. Reduction of costs for liquefied gas is one of the key mitigating measures to reduce over-dependency for biomass. Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
And the Minister of State for Primary Education, Joyce Modriku, has appealed to schools to give an allowance of 2 weeks to students before giving out their placements for those who may have not reported to the respective schools. The placement exercise for Senior 5 entrants has ended successfully at Uma Showgrounds with 236,280 students being placed to different secondary schools.
In the recently released UCE, 329,939 students are eligible to join A-level and TVET institutions in a two-day placement exercise at Uma Showgrounds in Kampala. Total of 236,280 students have been placed in different secondary schools, while the remaining 93,659 students will be absorbed in TVET institutions, both government and private.
Really depends on how many students sit Senior 4, how many pass, and then the capacity, the size of a school. Because our schools are different in size. There are those who will take 100 students in Senior 5, 200 students, 50. So it depends on how many students have applied for a particular school, how many have passed, and then the computer will automatically cut off the number that fits in.
This year, most schools have got a higher number of students compared to last year.
Last year, our cut-off points were boys 17, girls 18. Still this year, we have maintained the same. And the number of students they gave us was 150. Likewise, last year, they gave us 130. Today, they have increased by 20 to make the total number of 150 students.
I've been given 103. Last year was given only 90. So there's been an increase in the enrollment.
This year we have been able to get 60.
While closing the placement exercise, the Minister of State for Primary Education, Joyce Muriku Kaduku, was dismayed with unjustified fee structures and school requirements by private schools.
It's a guideline they are supposed to follow. If they want to increase school fees, they first consult the permanent secretary and they get the approval of the PS. But they have been increasing school fees irrationally, and there is a very strong public outcry on this subject matter. And indeed it is true, I've told the head teachers, we need to adhere to that guideline. But the good news we have is that Cabinet has approved 12 items that should not be included in school fees. And as I speak, the Minister of Education is already in the process of formulating a statutory instrument this time round. And that instrument, once passed, you cannot do otherwise. If they like, they have to follow our regulation. They have to be governed and regulated.
She appealed to schools to give an allowance of 2 weeks to students before giving out spaces for those who may not have reported to the respective schools. Senior 5 entrants are expected to report to their respective schools on Monday, 11th March 2024. I'm Nafka Farida and Diana Kuti.
And the National Records and Archives Agency has been dissolved by Parliament. In the ongoing rationalization move, Parliament this morning passed the National Records Amendment Bill 2024 into law. The intended law will shift the functions of the then National Records and Archives Agency to the Ministry of Public Service. Minister for Public Service Muruli Mukasa welcomed the move by the August House. MPs failed to proceed with some of the bills, such as the certificate of financial, the MPs failed to proceed with some of the bills. Let's take a look.
Managing Uganda's archival records will be the responsibility of the Minister of Public Service if the President agrees with the Parliament's unanimous decision to pass the National Records and Archives Amendment Bill 2024.
Suspension of the rule in respect to the debate on the National Records and Archives Amendment Bill 2024. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Who are the representatives being given time to debate at this stage the report? And then we rush and we go into the committee stage when the bills have not been adequately consulted upon. We have not been sent back as MPs to go and consult. The chairperson did not invite the stakeholders, Uganda Law Society, and whoever affected to come. The only chance to address the issue of public participation would be by allowing debate here.
The Tuesday morning session, chaired by Speaker Anita Monk, deliberated and succeeded with dissolving the National Records and Archives Agency, which had the mandate to preserve and manage Uganda archival records, the national documented heritage for cultural, research and historical values.
Ensuring that a senior officer is designated to superintend the action taken in each organ of state in respect of this act. Justification. For clarity and to ensure that a senior officer is designated for that purpose.
The Minister for Public Service, Muruli Mukasa, welcomed the move, which fits well in the objectives of rationalization, intending to cut government expenses and end duplication of roles.
I put a question at the National Records and Archives Amendment Bill 2024 be read and the third time and do pass. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. Ayes have it.
A bill for an...
The session also witnessed Parliament discontinuing a section of bills after the MPs interested the Speaker on the undefined certificates of financial implication. This implies that the bills discontinued will be retabled.
The Attorney General renders advice. The bills have sponsors. So my advice is that the bills with certificates of financial implication which are defective be withdrawn. That's my advice.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabenji, UBC News.
My women, please.
And police in Kagadi have arrested the Kagadi district local government driver for allegedly knocking dead a border cyclist who had joined his colleagues to stage a peaceful demonstration along Mohoro Ndaiga Lake Albert Road. The suspected driver is only identified as Stephen.
Don't think that intention was killing the person. Really, we are so sorry. We are so sorry for the loss of that life. But however, we have to condemn the organizers of this demonstration.
And with that, we'll take a quick break. When we return, more details.
Ebiseera by'okusaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalipagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripsi. Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *5*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu ya Uganda.
Welcome to Dade Nursery and Primary School Luzira, a school that gives your child a positive learning environment that makes them feel comfortable and safe. We are a progressive year-round nursery and primary school, providing a child-centered approach to early learning, collaborative family atmosphere, and a safe, inspiring environment that encourages exploration and creativity. Dade Nursery and Primary School offers a wide range of co-curricular activities that promote teamwork, physical and mental development, including ballet, soccer, basketball, piano, and home economics. Admissions are in progress from baby class to P7, starting from the 8th of January to the 5th of February 2024. Find us at the first left turn after Oryx Service Station towards Luzira.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Tonight. Medical insurance remains a myth, calling for a strategic partnership to improve the limited formal insurance coverage in Uganda. In Uganda, only 1% of the population currently enjoys medical insurance. Leshego Uganda and Turaco Insurance Brokers and Sanlam Uganda are extending affordable health insurance coverage to Leshego customers, irrespective of loan size.
Leseho, in partnership with Turaco, is empowering the underbanked to offer health insurance through their flagship product, Let's Go Insure. Let's Go Insure covers loans under 550 Uganda shillings with a 300 Uganda shillings hospital cash benefit and 1 million Uganda shillings life benefit. For loans above 550 Uganda shillings, customers receive an annual benefit of 1 million Uganda shillings hospital cash and 2 million Uganda shillings life cover.
Today, with the support of Sanlam, Turaco, we are able to extend to this all borrowers irrespective of the amount. We give you a loan with a health cover. And this health cover covers specific things. One is that during your course of servicing the loan, if you fall sick and you are unable to go and do your routine 8 to 5, I'm told it's no longer 8 to 5, it can also be from 6 to 7 in the morning. But as you do and go around your work schedule, and you are unable to attend to that and you fall sick and you are admitted in hospital, we've worked with our insurers that we will give you a cover of up to 300,000 if you are borrowing less than 550,000.
Hospital cash provides financial support if the insured is hospitalized for at least 2 nights, offering relief for medical expenses or lost income. Life benefits ease the financial burden on the insured's family. Girls Aijukwe, CEO of Leseho Uganda, emphasizes affordable health care.
In case the unfortunate thing happens and you separate with this world or you leave this world, we'll give your family a benefit of 1 million shillings. Is it, Roger? And I think the other product is 2 million to help your family with funeral arrangements.
General Manager of Turaco, Hamza Mutebi, says the expanded reach of affordable health insurance will benefit Ugandans.
I think when we started the partnership, the team at Letseo can attest, we are paying claims in a couple of hours. If the client delays to send documentation, a few days. Not so. That's what we want to. Because the person who has paid you 25,000 shillings for a whole year, first of all, is saying, but will it work? So when they bring a claim, you don't want to pay in months. We want to use technology to meet them at that pain point in the shortest time possible.
Martin Mutiaba, General Manager Corporate at Sanlam Life Uganda, sees the partnership as a testament to their commitment to innovation and addressing diverse customer needs.
Especially because we are the right people with the right solutions fitting into the requirement, like indicated by the CEO, Mr. Giles. What we see in the future is that there will be more demand for insurance across the segments, the top tiers, the mid-level, as well as the low tier.
The latest offering that we are launching this morning of health insurance, regardless of the loan size, from Let's Go Insure, represents a significant step towards a more inclusive financial landscape. At the IRA, we remain committed to providing a supportive environment to make sure that insurance business is sustainable whilst upholding best practices.
The goal is to make cost-effective health insurance more accessible and transformative for a broader audience. Mary Namkose, Robert Bwaita, UBC News.
And the State House Poverty Alleviation Department has given out over 400 goods to people of Alili Parish in Madiokolo district to enable them improve on their income. During the handover, the woman district legislator Joanna Niko Kia, together with the PAD head of communication Haji Sulaiman Walusimbi, advised beneficiaries to safeguard the animals for opportunities.
The Poverty Alleviation Department and a state house that was launched by President Museveni in 2003 with the aim of eradicating poverty is yielding results. Over 400 goats have been given out to people of Algidi Parish in Madiokolo district from profits of the first beneficiaries. Handing over goats, the district woman member of Parliament and head communications PAD, on behalf of head department Joan Kakwenzire, advised beneficiaries to look after goats and multiply.
Many people have crossed. After crossing the bridge, they destroy it. It is President Museveni who has helped them to at least get what they are getting now. It's not really wise when it comes to 2026 to destroy the bridge. Let the bridge continue.
The district woman member of Parliament says that poverty has contributed to increasing number of teenage pregnancies in the area.
We find that when girls start to mature, the moment they go into puberty, people have been having a mindset that such a girl is now ready for marriage, which is not the case. We get girls who have completed P7 and have performed well. And we call their parents, and together with their parents, we give them usually a pregnant goat and love education and see the future in education and see that education brings wealth.
The Madiokolo RDC Shwahib Toko applauded President Museveni for maintaining peace in the West Nile.
The peace and security we have is not guaranteed, but now there is insecurity of poverty, which most of us have been facing. And that's where the president's effort is focused on.
The head of department, Joan Kakwenzire, disclosed that in 2 years, over 1,000 goats have been given out in West Nile.
And we keep very good records. If we give you 3 goats plus 1 male, it enters into our computer. So we have reached 596 homes who received goats, cassava. But I've told you that we put 5,000 hoes in every household. So no excuse not to get out to dig.
Unlike in other areas, this time, girls who excelled in last primary living examinations have received goats as a sign of encouragement.
The goats will be protected with my parents, then it will support me in my future.
We finished our school because the teachers have been advising us and we have been following the advice.
Andrew Sebira compiled this report for UBC News.
Tonight, thank you for sticking with us. We do return at 10 o'clock with more details. I am Rhoda Ngonzi, on sign language, Elizabeth Nakakuni.
Inspiring Uganda.
Hi Fifi, how are you?
I'm fine. Baby, whenever I eat chips and chicken, I feel stomachache, joint pain and body weakness.
My dear, go to MX Nutrition Center and learn the best food for your body. And get treatment according to your blood group.
Are you sure?
Yes.
By the way, do you know your blood group, genotype, and how much you need to exercise? Come to Timex Nutrition Center for professional advice on how to manage your health and immune boosting. At Timex, we treat diseases like diabetes, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, pressure, and many more. For details, find us at our headquarters in Kampala on Nasa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor. We also have a branch in Mbarara, or call us on 0758 819952 or 0778 288361. Timex, be your own doctor.
A very good evening, you children tuned into UBC TV. We thank you so much for watching. Welcome back from the news, and now I warmly welcome you to the Nutrition Talk, where we talk about nutrigenomics, mainly the right food for your body and how you get to know that this is what I have to eat because of who I am. We normally sit down here with Dr. Ismail Tamale. He comes from Timex Nutrition Center, and nutrigenomics is what they do. What nutrigenomics is, like I've said, it is all about knowing the right food to eat for the right growth and existence of your body. Doctor is already here. We get questions from you, and we set an exam for him that he sits. So he is going to sit for an end of year exam, I think, this evening, today being our very last program for the year 2023. Doctor, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers, and thank you for tuning on UBC at this hour to listen to Timex Nutrition Center program about your health.
Yep.
Here in Timex Nutrition Center, as the presenter has presented, we mainly deal with food. We treat you using food. Actually, you treat yourself using food. You become a doctor for yourself. So that's what the nutrigenomics was trying to tell you. So when you come to Timex Nutrition Center, we determine your blood group, your genetic information, then we advise you on what foods to eat, which are compatible to your blood group and genotype, what exercises to do, and lifestyle strategies to adopt to be very healthy. And of course, if you do that, then you would have got your health in your hands. You forget about sicknesses and ailments. You will prevent and at the same time treat conditions that may be coming to you. Maybe for people who have just tuned in, usually we tell people that most of the ailments that you see disturbing people, like diabetes mellitus, high blood pressure, joint pain, asthma, sinuses, fibroids, and a multitude of many ailments, many of them, there are no pathogens which cause them. Pathogens are microorganisms which cause diseases. These diseases like diabetes, pressure, and so on, there are no microorganisms. Secondly, these diseases, as I have mentioned them all, there is nowhere in the world where they vaccinate against them. That, oh, today come to State Square, we are going to vaccinate against high blood pressure, against diabetes. It is impossible. It will not be there globally. The scientists have done all research in all other things, but vaccinating diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiac problems, joint pains is not there.
I don't think even police would handle that line.
So where is the answer to all these problems? These diseases are caused by the foods you eat, they are prevented by the foods you eat, and they are treated by the foods you eat. But the question now, which foods must you eat to avoid the diseases, prevent them, and treat them? That's our main concern and work at Timex Nutrition Center. So when you come, you'd have solved that problem. So falling sick becomes by choice, and treating diseases becomes very easy.
Thank you so much.
It is not very easy. However, as long as you have got the diet wrong, medicine is going to be of very little use to you, because you are taking medications, but you are taking the foods which are continuing to create the problem. And when the diet is right for you, then you'll find healing being very easy and quick.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I was imagining if cases would advertise like they used to do with COVID, that we are vaccinating cancer today, or
high blood pressure, or diabetes, or joint pains, or ulcers.
There would be a line from Ginger Road, Kitugum House, up to City Square, another one from City Square up to around Bakuli.
So